Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we have very interesting deck, very different than the other Rakdos decks that are popular right now, because it's basically a control deck with Rakdos colors, and we have card draw, we have card advantage spells, and we also have a lot of removal and planewalkers. So basically we are playing this like a bit of a Dimir control, just with different type of cards. So I really like the deck itself. And also, I'm recording this intro after the most frustrating game ever. There will be a very control heavy, on the edge game that I think you don't want to miss. And tell me in the comments what you thought about this game, because I'm really curious. Okay, man, it's been something else on so many levels. And it's a good example of how you need to identify correctly what the enemy deck type is. Okay, back into the deck intro, because that's what we are here for. So basically, what the deck does, it's a big value engine with Invoke Despair in Invoke Calamity. And we've been running with a bit different versions before, so some of the games might be with a bit of a different cards, but so we were running, I believe, like Frostbites, but I have just noticed that very often Frostbite, like this 1 damage, is just a big difference. Like between 2 damage and 3 damage, it's a big difference, especially against Boros that tends to have mostly 3/3 creatures. And even with this Kumano thing, that it gives additional counter to the adversary that always follow up, with Frostbite you cannot answer it. And if you want to answer it on like turn 3, being on the draw, good luck with this. The game is already like nearly over by then. So yeah, I went with Stranglers and I want March for some life gain. So don't be surprised if you see a bit of different card choices. I didn't love the Ob Nixilis because I think like you can sacrifice Valki or Ghast. Of course we want the Ghast, and it's really good strategy, but it's good against kind of control slow decks, and meta is quite aggressive right now. So I feel that it's good, but not exactly in the current situation. Okay, and going back to the deck. So after this Invoke engine, we our scorers have big score because it really helps with everything, especially the treasures. You do use treasures quite a lot, and they matter even after 50 cards. Believe me, you will see it in some of the games, how big of a difference treasure can make. So yeah, this is really good card here in the deck because we have infinite card draw and infinite mana requirements, let's say. So it gives us both. Of course, we have also Blood on the Snow, so we are running the snow version of the deck, and this is also like the second engine. So Blood on the Snow is mostly for Onyx, that's why we run 2 of them. So in case one is at exactly the last card of the deck, you still get to draw another one. It is a bit top heavy, but I think in this case it's just such an important card because you have 2 Onyx, but you want to get them back with Blood on the Snow, and then you can invoke Calamity into Blood on the Snow, into Professor Onyx again. So basically you can invest 3 cards and get Planewalker back at the end step, and that's pretty important because it means that you start the turn with Onyx on the board already with +1. So that's a huge one. And then you can protect it with your full mana. We also have T-Bard, which comes into play very often. It's such a control version of the deck that you usually get to 7 mana most of the time. So yeah, we can also use Lolth to go a bit more aggressive and like board presence. So this is your alternate target for the Blood on the Snow. You don't really animate Ob Nixilis because he's a bit too weak. We also have double Bankbuster because sometimes we needed more cards on top of big score. And yeah, Invoke Despair. If you want to draw cards, just cast Invoke Despair. And what I like about this deck really can kill the enemy outright. Like, they might not even see it coming because you cast Invoke Despair into Invoke Calamity at the end step, and to like Professor Onyx into multiple chip spells or something like this. You also have Meathook Massacres. So we have quite a lot of sweepers, but I think that Meathook Massacre is important to just, get around some games that are super aggressive and you are on the draw. And with Shambling Ghast, Meathook Massacre is much better. So I think you can use all of them, and we have enough value to usually go with the cards that we draw from the top, unless you get flooded horribly, which tends to happen sometimes, unfortunately. We have 24 lands, but I think it's 15, 16, 24 exactly. And believe me, we still might get flooded quite a lot with this deck. So sometimes you get mana screwed, sometimes flooded, as the magic intended. So that is the deck introduction. I think the deck is pretty strong. I think on the average it would be like 50%. I was below this, but I think that I definitely lost the game that I should not have. It was plainly my mistake, so if the driver was better, this would be exactly 50% win rate in Mythic. So sure, I think that's it. And as always, if you like this kind of decks, subscribe, like the videos, tell me in the comments what you think, it really helps. And I try to read the comments, so I will know. So let's go into the games, and I hope you enjoy them, especially the big game. Oh man, that's basically a no value hand. What are we playing against? 236 cards. And the sorcerer is 2, 3, 5. I don't think that's a coincidence. Oh man, I have no idea. So probably it's some kind of like more controlling stuff. I think we need more value. Okay, this one is a bit better, I think. Let's go like this. Still a strange hand. The hands with this deck can be awkward, I've noticed, but still, usually you curve out pretty nicely in time. Smork? I definitely don't know what to expect. Consider me impressed with every single card I will see this game. Okay. What the hell is with this card today? Second deck in a row with this card that I have never seen since New Capena launched. Okay, so I guess you take the Onyx, right? At least we have Blood on the Snow, but we need 6 Snowlands, so that's a problem. And unfortunately we need to play this card, because we want to make sure that we ramp to Snowlands. There is a chance that we will draw 5 of them in a row. So you know. Oh man. I think this game is going into the most awkward game ever, Hall of Fame. Enemy is playing this card on our key card and nothing more, and we have only removal and small 1/1 creature attacking here and drawing lands from the top, which actually is not the worst. But oh man, I don't know what to think about this. If it's Knight, that creature gets -13. Okay, that's a strong removal. If you hit the Knight. Oh man, this is ridiculous. And we need to ramp into 6 Snowlands to get Liliana back. Go blank again! What the hell is today with the decks? Every deck, discard into go blank. Oh man. Good that we are a great Magic player and we just top deck the card that we needed from the top of our deck. 3 lands from the top. What is this day in Arena? I cannot believe what I'm seeing right now. And we actually don't have red mana. Can you believe it? Let's go for this one, because this one is tapped and this one is black. So we want snow and also untapped, because I don't want to waste treasure. And you know what? Let's start like this.
You don't stand with me.
I predict that this will be a little more irritating for the enemy to deal with. Yeah? So, card for card, that's actually a good one. I like this choice. Like, it's very situational, but definitely has a lot of targets. Probably Vanishing Verse is overall just better, right? Like, you get nearly the same selection, but also creatures, which is huge. And we are nearing. So we could get up, but it's not a worthy target, to be honest. And then me will be able to attack with the horn next turn. But still, let's pressure him. He needs to tap out to do it. So, you know, he might do it, but it will mean that he has nothing at instant speed. See? Baiting 2 cards with Ob. And of course, the almighty Smork. You are, my friend, 2 despairs from dying. Oh my! Is this the Valki? It actually is. We need 1 red, okay. Of course, let's not mess this one up. Unfortunately, enemy, are you freaking serious? Are you freaking serious? Exactly 1 mana more than we had? Oh man, this game is just ridiculous. It's just freaking ridiculous. So we might give the enemy 1 card. It's Lolth right now, because I want Blood on the Snow on Kaito. Now the question is, do we draw cards or make the spiders? Let's make the spiders because of the hole. If he didn't have the hole, I would probably draw the card, because then he cannot really contest Lolth. Yep, you draw your card, you kill the Lolth, and that's why we will use the Blood on the Snow on the Planewalker side.
Now this is a juicy secret.
First we might bait some kind of removal with for spiders, because he still needs to kill both spiders if he wants Kaito to survive. Okay, that's a strong draw. Man, I feel that everything in this game just went wrong. And we probably will still win it, but it's just insane. Okay, interesting.
I'm hungry. Gonna get a snack.
I see. Is this another ridiculous counter spell? Like, if you have it, you are a great player. Okay. That's a good draw as well. We might get Go Blanked, but then we cast Invoke Calamity at instant speed. You'll probably have some pay exactly how much you can't counter spell. Okay, so he wants to take Kaito, right? And how... You know what? I heard that Invoke Despair is a good card. That's why you don't tap out. Unless he didn't have a counter spell. And we won it, but it was just so awkward. Like, what? Oh man, the hands with this deck are so awkward always. But is this good? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think this one is better. I think 1 Invoke Despair is okay. Valki is a good start. Sulfurous Mire is also a good start. Having all the Snowlands is also a good start. We have double Liliana, so we actually care about... moment, let's go with the black one. You actually care about having 6 Snowlands on turn 6, because sometimes you hit Blood on the Snow and Liliana in a row, so you know, you have options to use it. And we definitely want to remove the Valkyrie, because they freaking always have it. Because why wouldn't they have always the Valkyrie? You know, it's just the perfect card, so let's open with it every single game. Like, it's strange, because they really seem to have it every time on turn 3. I think I've played so far like less than 10 games when, in total, in my life, that the enemy didn't have the Valkyrie on turn 3. Sorry? Yeah, I forgot Valky holds priority always. That's irritating card to play against, unfortunately. Okay. Decisions. Ob is really bad here, because they have flying, so they can kill it very easily. So I think we just transform into Valkyrie. Let's go with the black. You want Invoke Despair mana first. Sorry, as always, in recording I'm coughing like crazy. So it's 2/4, right? So it can block the Overseer forever. Enemy cannot play Elspeth, so let's see what exactly will happen. Let's also see if the enemy knows how Valki works, but to be honest, it's so obvious. It's painfully obvious, so I expect him to know. Especially it holds the priority every single time. Okay, that's a lot of Valkyries. Yep, they are pretty huge by now. Yep, exactly. No blockers. We need blood on the snow and 3 more turns. And I have no idea how we get there, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, that's a good start, I guess. You know what? It's actually double up, right? But they all have flying, it's so bad on this part. But still, it's definitely this into this because it ramps us and gives us up and some healing. So we actually get a lot of value. A lot of value. We can hard cast the Invoke Despair, so let's go for the -1. We cannot sacrifice the devil, so we cannot kill Giada. We have to go for this. Elspeth will be a huge problem very quickly, so we don't really draw many cards. At least he needs to attack awkwardly, because Ob not only damages but also heals, which is pretty huge. Unfortunately he can just go for both, and we cannot give him the Valkyrie. But this gives us at least a turn. And you know, we removed one of the angels at least. It's not looking great. Like, we need blood on the snow on top, and we are hard pressured to even win this. Also, if we attack with Valki at any point, it's so obvious that we will sweep. Also, this with shield is even worse, because it doesn't die to blood on the snow. Yeah, and we don't have great targets to reanimate yet. Man, this is so awkward. We can kill the Elspeth, so there's that. But 10 damage a turn? Quite a lot. Like, he cannot cast the Valkyrie this turn, right? Oh man, what exactly do we do? He will put the counter here probably, or here. So it will be 5, so we don't block next turn more damage. I think we go like... Do we? No, we don't block, we take it. We take it because then he cannot attack with the Valkyrie buff next turn. And we can heal 4, so that's quite a lot. We cannot cast Valki, right? Unfortunate, we only draw 1 card, and we need to heavily chump block. So we definitely just need to play into Blood on the Snow, because that's the only way we can get back into this game, and it will still be hard. The good part is that he will probably attack with all the creatures to pressure, and then we can get rid of the shield counter, but I'm not sure if we just don't die then. Yeah, sure, take your time, my friend. It's actually quite important what he sacrifices, so I do understand him. I think it's still Giada. Like, he has 2 cards in total, so the angels won't be huge. And this is the least threatening attacker. It's better long term, but he wants to kill me very quickly, and that's it. Okay. Devils don't really do anything. His HP does not matter, so he will not discard. That would be a silly play.
Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
So I guess we could... No, we don't attack because then he kills the devil. Let's actually think. Maybe baiting him into blocking to remove the shield counter is as good as it gets. Then we can remove bigger damage next turn. Then we... what? Ping him. Remove the shield. We don't get life healing, but we die anyway, right? I think that's still the best play. So now we don't need to remove this one, we can remove something else. Is there any benefit in killing our own stuff? Not really. So the idea is that we can block one more damage this way. Oh, haste. Everything is buffed. That is a good game. He deserved the hit. Let him enjoy the moment. Good game, my friend, good game. Okay, so as usually on the draw, it's not the best hand. We definitely need more lands, but I think we can work it out somehow. I'm not casting Shambling Ghast yet. Okay, that's a good draw. We go into black mana territory. And let's hope that enemy... Actually, whether enemy will kill it or not doesn't make a huge difference. We get benefit in both ways. Check for traps is actually the best card you could have, and card that I didn't see since like a week or two. That's a fortunate draw. Especially usually play either 1 or 2 copies, so really good draw from the enemy so far, and I'm not salty about it. It's Ob Nixilis easy. This sets us back so much. Okay, so enemy wants to kill it. That's interesting. Like, I was considering using Frostbite on my own Ghast, just to ramp. So that's interesting. We need one more swamp, unfortunately. Because I don't really want to invoke Calamity now. Because basically, like, if you use it to cast something from your hand, you only gain tempo. This is instant. You know what? Enemy is helping us ramp, so I guess we actually will do it. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for ramping. So let's go. Oh, actually. Oh man, I messed up. It has to be red. We cast Invoke Despair, but using Invoke Calamity, so that was a mistake. So, the original plan. I wasted a very good play here. So I needed red mana, and then we cast Invoke Calamity and Despair at the end turn, draw 3 cards, and we are super happy. Oh man, that was such a good occasion to abuse a bit this Field of Ruin play. I'm unhappy about myself so much, that would be so good. And we are like, literally playing against this card deck. Cause why not? And we need a swamp from the top. Well, that's not the correct mana, even though we took the swamp from the Field of Ruin. I actually would love him, like, would love to have non-basic so he can Field of Ruin it and ramp us. So do we actually do it now? Like, this is our full... I think we are waiting, yeah? This is just better. Enemy doesn't have counter spells, so we need to abuse it a bit. Like, if we can invoke Calamity, that's good enough, I think, to win the game. Man, I'm so sad about missing this play. I think we still win, but it just wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. So, let's see what the enemy will do. Nothing. And, yeah, let's do the thing. Graveyard. All we need is just Invoke Despair him to death. 1, 2, 3. So enemy is effectively at 1, which is hilarious in a way. And we just keep drawing cards, you know. That's a fun deck. Oh man, that was so ridiculous. And suddenly, enemy is at 1 and we have 7 cards, right? So, pretty good so far. Yeah, like, I guess you do res. I don't agree with this choice too much, but I guess he assumes that we don't have any instant to cast, so I guess. Do we just go for the big score? Nah, I think we play the Onyx, even if he can remove her. It's still card for card and he needs to tap out. Invoke Calamity is really good here. And also, let's make sure we go for double lethal. Man, I'm so sad about missing this play. Like, in the end, it worked out for the better, because we would give up some value to get the tempo, and we might whiff, so that was probably still the better play what we did, but that was definitely not what I wanted. And good game. That was a weird deck, so basically he wanted to discard, but he didn't discard too much. Okay, so I'm not sure about this hand. Like, Ob Nixilis on the draw is worse and double 5 drop. We should probably mulligan it. You know what? It's actually a bit better, I think. Because at least we can ramp with the big score. So at least we are guaranteed to go for Invoke Despair and hopefully some cards, but definitely not the best start, to be perfectly honest with you. And yeah, the creature will get the counter as well, so it probably will be 3-3 with haste, right? Always. Freaking always. So even though we have removal, we don't have strong removal. Like, we are 1 mana against 3 mana basically. So obviously we don't have the way to remove. So now, let's play our land for the turn and be happy. We have a long way to go. Ob Nixilis will help a bit. At least we can kill Kumano. But this Kumano really did so much. And here comes the another one. Smork. Enemy is just going full enjoyment mode. With the tapping out and creating creatures with haste that attack you. Let's go for black. We generally want more black with Despair. We unfortunately don't have anything to sacrifice, but still, let's create a devil. It actually is quite relevant because it can heal us to life every turn, so enemy is a bit inclined to kill it. But we have a long way to go. We need big score next turn, and that will waste our own turn, like whole turn actually. Okay, that's interesting. We still get to have a blocker, right?
Wipe that smug look off your face.
The 1 damage is wasted. Next turn we can block the Kumano, right? And then we will be at 3. So we take this one. Huh, that's not good enough. We will have exactly the 4 black mana for Invoke Despair. Like, this is the turn when it will hurt like crazy. So we are at 3. The best case is big score into some, yeah? So we know their turn. Let's play ours. Let's play our turn. We discard this one because it's tapped, and we definitely don't have enough time. So we can go double removal, but that's not enough, man. He actually thought about missing Reaper. That's Boros players. Great, enjoyable game. Definitely enjoyable game. Very slow start, even with mulligan. Like, you want removal, and the enemy was on the play with perfect draw, so very hard to challenge this. Okay, we only have 2 lands. That's not great. But we have Strangle and big score, so if we hit 4 mana, we can go off, I think. And we are on the draw, so we have bigger chance to draw into the 4th land on curve. Okay, so far so good. We have red Invoke, so I guess we go Blood on the Snow if we really have to. That's interesting combination in this deck, so we basically can cast this at instant speed, even at the end step, and you start with Planewalker, so that's pretty powerful move. For this reason, I will go with the Snowlands first, even though we might need more black for the Despair, but I think then we just cast Invoke Calamity. I think it's okay. Also we can pair the Despair with Strangle, which is really good combination overall. It might not seem extremely flashy, but it is actually pretty good. Man, and we need the land from the top. If we hit the land from the top, we are in a very good place. If we whiff, we are slowly dying, and it depends when we hit it. And as always, we whiffed on the lands. Man, Meathook Massacre isn't bad for the matchup still. He will have some creatures, but it's like the worst card. So the enemy is doing exactly what we wanted to do. He just drew lands and we didn't. Okay, one turn behind. So basically we gave enemy a free time walk for 0 mana, so that seems good. But maybe we can get the tempo back somehow. It's painful, I'm not gonna lie, but at least we have a lot of value in the hand. We need to make it really count, but it will be a huge comeback, like a story. Like, it's insane how missing one turn just completely destroys your game plan. Okay, Strangle doesn't seem to be great, and we can always cast it from Calamity. Tap lands. The deck does not cooperate. Does not, and we needed this to cast Invoke Despair. So I guess it's Lolth. Oh, we have to... yeah, okay, that's fine. Man, if we had this untapped, we could remove the Stomper. Still awkward. And I'm definitely not exiling 2 cards to kill it, unless it's some crucial turn. And enemy is just going despair after despair. But that's fine. Like, at least he didn't draw too many cards. So that's why I said that the Meathook is still good in the matchup. You look how much he healed so far. Okay, he's going heavily card for card, so maybe that's something. Like, we need to outvalue him, but it will be so hard with Meathook and so many despairs. He also got double despair in top 20, so that's also not great. Full tap lands after getting behind on mana, brutal. How many snowlands we have? We have 5, right? So we could get Lolth at the end step if we care. How good is reversing the tempo? Because we can cast Invoke Calamity. I think if we don't do anything, he just attacks and basically does the same thing. But we cannot use the Planewalker ability. I actually need to think about this turn. We have different strategies. We can go for the March right now. So we heal back to 12 and then he's forced to do something. But maybe it's better to have the initiative. He wasted quite a lot to answer Lolth. You know what? I think it's okay, because we have Invoke Despair. Let's destroy all creatures. Oh. Oh, right, it's a tap land. It's a tap land. Oh, man. Okay, so I guess the choice was made. The choice was made. I assume he's a good player. So I will do it right now, so he has tapped out mana. Because he might have something like Deadly Dispute. I'm not sure, I don't think he has them, but why risk it? Good player will start with the attack, so we are forced to do something. Sorry. Okay, so I guess we Planewalker this then. Vampire is not this cursed. We could also go Invoke Despair and just go pure 3 for 1. That's also an interesting tap land, cause why not? Oh man. Magic, why are you doing this to me? Is this some kind of trial? Okay, so we have options. We can go Invoke Despair and answer everything perfectly. And to be frank, I'm happy with this. So then he got no value from Sorin and we get the Meathook Massacre on top. That's good enough. And then we can follow up with Blood on the Snow into Invoke Calamity. As I said, like, we need to outvalue him and like we need to battle every card he has drawn with his Time Walk and basically just ensure that we go 2 for 1 so long until he's out of value and he has 1 card in the hand, and then we win. Okay, we are getting there. And now we, for the first time in the game, actually have initiative, because we can actually do something right now, and enemy needs to answer. I like playing like control matchups against enemy that doesn't have blue, because we can basically ensure this will happen at the end step, and that's huge. I hope he plays something that has 3 toughness. I would browse my graveyard, but highlighting your graveyard during enemy turn shows exactly what you want to cast. So let's maybe not do it before we cast. Okay, so Invoke Despair at the end step. Seems pretty good. No, man, it got so confusing for me. Yeah, I still prefer this one. We could also go big score, but it's just a bit better. You know, 3 cards at the end step and 6 damage is something that definitely will help us. We even hit an untapped land at what, turn 10 or something. Oh man, I'm so salty. I'm so salty because it's already the 2nd game in a row that we couldn't draw lands. So yeah. I think Meathook Massacre is good. So you know what? Let's play our little zombie. We have removal in the form of March, so we can discard the Infernal Grasp. Especially that the Planewalkers are scary, not really the other cards. If he removes it, then I'm so happy. Because we still get the treasure, which is probably most we care for. I could Meathook, so he gets the damage, but I don't think we'll win this way. We probably will win by just outvaluing him hard. As mentioned before. And we are already doing it. We have 6 cards compared to his 5, to his 4. And we have Invoke Calamity, which is equal to infinity cards, basically. And we even have instant blood on the snow if we care. So I think we are in winning spot, despite everything that happened in this crazy nightmare of an early game that we were in. The enemy couldn't capitalize on it quickly enough, but double invoke, man, that put him so far ahead. And even Sorin, like this last despair was basically the cleaning up for everything that happened to set us on the back foot, and that was after he didn't play the threat. It was the first turn when we actually could, you know, start playing the game for real. I like this so much because it gives us everything, and we get so many treasures to get back with the tempo. And I also like March together with the treasures, because basically every treasure is gain 1 life if you really want. And there are games that, you know, if you gain 3 life, you basically win the game. So if you have 3 treasures, congratulations, you have won the game. Especially against burn decks. So, enemy seems not happy about the result. Unless he's thinking super hard, but Golgari doesn't have very many instants. It's usually like, you know, this is decent draw. We could cast this at the end step, but I don't think we have to. Like with Bankbuster, we can just go slow roll the death and make sure that we always stay ahead. I could cast Meathook right now, but I'm too greedy. They don't have threat, so no haste. So we can attack safe. And you know, we either start killing him with the Bankbuster, like when we draw 3 cards we should be so ahead. Okay, and what is the target, my friend? Yeah, we want to target this treasure. It's such a juicy target. It gives mana like once in a game. Enemy is thinking really hard about those 3 cards, but I'm probably the last person to point it out. So let's just draw our cards and be happy with it. So we could go for the crazy combo of going Invoke Calamity, into Blood on the Snow, into having Lolth. But honestly, this seems like such a bad idea. If enemy plays a creature, we might go big score into Infernal Grasp for the full 6 mana. Man, go. Yeah, exactly. So he gets his forest, he has his 3 cards. It's still not over. We need to think how to outvalue him, because we need more despairs. Basically, we need more despairs. We could go for the big score, but imagine if we draw 2 lands and then we don't have Invoke Calamity anymore and we have 4 lands instead of 2 in the hand. Man, what can you think? I'm sorry for the viewers. My friend, you really don't have place. You have 3 cards and not much to do with them. He didn't play anything last turn, so it means that he also cannot play this turn anything. So I don't like to be this person, but I just don't want guy to waste too much of your time, guys. Okay, that's definitely Professor Onyx, because we are ready to reanimate her if we want. Please don't think about every move for 20 minutes. Mojo Pie. Your mojo is a bad mojo right now. That sounded pretty weird, I bet. Yeah, sure, I will take more reanimation spells. And we are not scared about anything, so let's just make sure that we kill him as quickly. Like, if we attack with Shambling Ghast 3 times, it's 18. That means that triple despair will kill him. So, you know, not saying it's the biggest deal in the world, but it might matter. We could also Blood on the Snow into, like, Lolth and just go spiders and kill him quickly. But I'm a control mage. I don't like wasting value because I think that the longer game zone... Oh, I see. I see. Okay. So it's 5 mana. So he can kill the Onyx, right? Sure. So you get to cast it. Now the question, I think we Blood on the Snow. I think we Blood on the Snow. And we do it after, so we will miss the trigger. That's interesting, so he has a lot of cards then. Okay, I get the thinking now. So he actually had something to think. You know what? You draw. That's a good one. Oh, so I like this deck. This is... It might be even my version, I'm not sure. But it's a really good one. So that changes things. If he can recur the value, then we need to pressure him much more. So I misidentified a bit the game. I didn't thought he has Shigekis as well. They aren't as played as you might think sometimes. They usually go for like the shorter game. Okay, so I think it's Invoke Despair, right? It's Invoke Calamity. And then we get... It's not great still. Like, honestly, it's not great. So I think we still go like this. We go Blood on the Snow, destroy all creatures, play with this. And in that case, if we know that the creatures will die, let's make Lolth and some spiders. And the next in Blood on the Snow will be for Liliana. Hopefully into draining enemy out of all the life. So if he kills the Planewalkers, he deals 4 damage. Probably I should at this point... I think I will cast the Meathook Massacre. Yeah, we will have 6 mana at instant, so we don't need more. So at this point I think it's worth it. It also prevents the card draw, right? So either he loses life, or we basically trade it for card, which is also pretty good. Man, this game has been harder than I thought with the Shigeki. You can see how powerful card it is. Yep, you get the full value, my friend. Enjoy. So right now he's waiting for another Shigeki. But he didn't draw any cards, so let's see what the follow-up is. I hope it's a big creature that we can... Oh man, so he's going for the combo. Can we do something about it? That's rough. That's really rough. This is so hard then. So we can go for Lolth, but he can Shigeki into Despair in 1 turn. I definitely think we need to cast it right now. But let's actually let him resolve. It's sorcerer speed, so it's actually his main phase. Man, I'm not sure how to approach this game, honestly. With Shigeki, we can never outvalue him. He has basically the infinite loop and enough mana to make it work, so I was playing with this deck. Also recommend if you like this. It's one of my favorite decks because of this, because the value is infinite. If you can get into like 15 mana, it's just insane. So even our deck cannot keep up with this forever. So we need to sacrifice some tempo. Sorry, some value for the tempo. Because we need to pressure him super hard. He can get one card at the end step. It's not too much. I'm not sure what we go for. Like, it's of course Blood on the Snow. We could also go for the Windfall and try to hit something. That's also not the worst. Then we main phased Blood on the Snow. We have quite a lot of mana. You know what? Actually, I think it might be better. It's risky. We might whiff, but I think we are in the situation that we just need to go a bit more crazy. And casting this from the hand doesn't give any value. And we still get 2 treasures. Okay, so now I won't bash the enemy for thinking, because with Shigeki he actually has infinite possibilities. Double land as a freaking triple land as expected. Oh man, okay, I think this draw was devastating. If you go for the full card draw turn and you basically did not draw a single card, that doesn't sound great. So he takes the Despair, right? And then he casts it. Lolth won't really do much. Like, let's destroy whatever. It has to be Liliana. We need to draw some very good cards because we whiffed on everything. Invoke Despair is a good one. This might be something that helps us get back into the game. Especially that we have treasures and we have March. So don't forget we can cast it for 1 mana to drain 2 life. Like, this is a lot of damage. We might even Strangle our own Liliana, and it sounds really, really bad. Huh. Does enemy have like creatures that we can only cast it on Sorin, I guess. But let's be honest, Liliana will be dead. She will be so dead it's not even funny. So let's at least get some small value, and we might cast March at the, you know, response. So I think draining him is the only choice. Man, from the perspective, I misplayed hard because I didn't identify the deck correctly. I thought that we win the longer game, and with Shigeki and the Bala get recovery, we don't win the longer game. So we needed to go for Lolth and Spiders and pressure him and Meathook Massacre as soon as possible, because he was at 28, I believe, and we need to just smork him out of this range. So yeah, if we started earlier, I think we would get there, but it just was a missed game plan for the game. I'm not sure, like with 4 lands in a hand, I don't feel great, and I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and enemy has 3 of them and 4 of those, right? Okay, so he has 5 mana, so 1 card on me. He decided to not get card. Interesting. So yeah, but he can still cast the Despair, right? Oh, Hive. Hive is scary. So 1, 2, and 3 and Despair. Yeah. This is how it rolls. And now the Despair for Onyx. Sorry, it's not Liliana, definitely. Not worth it right now, especially if Hive is on the field. That's an amazing late game draw. Beware, my 1-drop and 3 lands. Oh man. We are against Shigeki casting 2 Despairs a turn early, and we are drawing 1-drops and lands from the top. Oh man, I think we are nearing the end. Let's see what the enemy cooks. Like, we can remove the hive, but we have like 1 more turn at most. Oh, okay. Do you have instant removal, my friend? This is what? 11, right? Yep. I would really want to kill my own creature, and you need the instant to prevent it. Like that's the best usage. It gives us at least maybe 1 or 2 extra turns, because he basically wanted to remove this, so he kills us with Invoke Despair. With 17 HP he cannot, but he will outvalue us super hard. I'm leaving the treasures because I think that if there's any way that we ever win this is by making Liliana into multiple spells like Windfalls. And then maybe we can make 5 spells in a turn. No, please don't. Not Liliana. Adam is playing this really well. I have to give it to him. It will be Liliana, I'm so sure about this. He exactly... What? Invoke Despair. Okay, that's also a viable choice. I guess. You still have 2 invokes. Okay. So now we go red invoke into win. Valki. Okay, those are the freaking cards that are in my deck. Thank you, game. Finally. Valki. Usually Valki is great, but he has binding like on top of his deck. So it's basically draw 2 cards, right? Is this even good? I think we are forced to do it. We need very good cards from the top. Ob. Are you good, Ob? You know what? He's not the worst. Can you cast Casualty? As you sacrifice a creature. I would love to sacrifice a Planewalker and get -7. But probably not the thing, right? Lately we've been so lucky with having like a crazy long game somehow. And I think we cast it right now, because it might get crewed at some point. And you know, this is the turn to use part of our mana. We don't have any cards to play for the next turn, so we should be able to keep up without the treasures. Man, imagine if those cards were 3 turns before, how different the game it would be. Oh man. Oh man. So how many despairs? Like I'm at this point thinking, oh yes please, you can discard all my hand because we basically don't have a hand. Of course he did it for exile, so our red invoke doesn't win us the game. And that's fair. Enemy is basically doing our deck with good draw. In different colors. But yeah, Shigeki is huge here in the deck. Oh man, I'm so salty about this game. I think we should have won this game on so many ways. Like, first of all, bad gameplay on my part, because I identified the wrong deck, which was the main problem, to be honest. Second one, our draws were horrible. And we die next turn. So he can cast it at 6 damage, and Hive is the rest, even if we kill this. So, the only choice to win this game is to cast Liliana into double freaking spell. And we will do it. Oh my god. Deck, why are you doing this to me? Oh man. This is just... We still have the chance. We can draw Windfall, into another spell. Windfall into another spell. Windfall into another spell. You know what? I'm not sure if that's enough, but it might be enough. We will have everything. We will have a Planewalker to sacrifice a creature and enchantment. So, but he will cast double despair. Man, this drawing 3 lands from the top on top of the other lands. I don't think we have any other lands in the deck. Yeah, I know we have, but I'm just salty. I want... Do we have Windfall? How many Windfalls we have, actually? I don't think we hit too many of them. So 1 big score, 2 big score, 3 big scores. So we have 1 of them. In those top 13 cards. Okay, that's 1 damage. And that's a Planewalker. Of course. Man, imagine if we played Meathook earlier. Like I'm salty, but it's entirely my fault for this game. Like, we had so many ways to win this. Is it Blitz? I just want to point out he could cast it for Blitz and win the game. It won't matter. And we can draw another land from the top. Oh man. Can I please draw something that's not a land? Man, if we actually win this, we can go Liliana into Windfall, into winning. No, he has 10 already with the Crown Sash. But we will still do it. Destroy all creatures. Is Valki? No, we cannot go Valki because it's 7 mana cost. I know this because thanks of your comments. Thank you guys for pointing it out with the Toxtril video. I actually learned it. Man, I feel... Okay. Man, of course we had to hit both of them in the same hand. But you know what? You know freaking what? If there's anything that can do it, it's discard.
There has to be an answer here.
Man, if we win this game, I will go full crazy. And we lack 1 mana. We actually lack 1 mana to win the game. Oh no, it's painful. It's at this point it's just freaking painful. Man, we actually needed 1 more treasure. I didn't think we need more treasures, and we did. 1 mana. Invoke Calamity into Invoke Despair, and that's basically 8 damage. Oh man, I will cry about after this game in my corner. Never has been the game so painful as this one. Can we get out of this somehow? He attacks for 3. That's 3 damage. He doesn't have direct damage. And he cannot kill Liliana. You know what? Maybe. Let's think. Maybe it's not over. We can play Valki maybe. And then we go Invoke Calamity next turn. Does Valki change anything really? Oh, he can just binding the Liliana. But okay, we can. So he creates the pest. He has the enchantment. I don't want to show the graveyard. Oh my. I think we keep the Valki. But I'm not sure about it. You know what? Let's cast it. I'm not sure about this play at all, but I think that him being on 4 is really good place to play a 2 attack creature. Because then he's dead to 1 trigger, and I'm going full tryhard mode. We are full control, baby. Of course, the full control, that doesn't show that we are a full control. Can we make it work? Can we make it work, guys? I want to win this game so much, you cannot believe it. By the way, really nice sleeves. I don't know how he got them, but they are so nice. I want them now. But he's a good player, he's really playing well, except, you know, playing Warchief that you could blitz and just attack us for 5 and we are at 4. I think we were at 3 to be honest then. So yeah, that was a hard misplay here. So enemy doesn't have this one lacking damage directly. Destroy all planewalkers. Okay, Valki seems pretty nice here. What does he get? Sorin? It's probably Sorin. Man, if he gets planewalkers, our... Oh no. Oh no, he realized how to play the deck. Oh no. It's exactly perfectly for... No, he has the hive, so that was even more. Oh, but it's not Blitz. It's not Blitz because you get it back, you cannot choose, because Blitz is only when you cast it. And you need to pay different cost. So actually it doesn't have haste, so it's just a blocker. Oh, such a good blocker. There is a chance that he won't cast Binding. Sorin. Sorin is super bad and he's already at 7 back. Man, this game will be my nightmare. It's slipping away again. It's slipping away. I should not have checked the graveyard. I really telegraph what the play is. And this will be Invoke Despair. This will be Invoke Despair. Yeah, I think that's it. I will play the next turn. And now he took the Liliana. I feel that he's bouncing the wrong side of the coin every time. He missed the Leafer. And it's still not enough. Man, our like early mid game was so devastating, and this decision to not identify right what's going on is so bad. Okay, Bankbuster, so he really doesn't want me to draw those last cards, and that's probably smart. I actually didn't need stops because of the Valki. It's definitely Calamity, but into what? Man, I should have deck tracker to know if I have instant. So Liliana is out. Valki is not something we can get. It has to be Invoke Despair, right? And then he just sacrifices this, this and this. And we cannot attack. Is there any way to do it? Blood on the Snow into what? I don't think we can use it on T-Bard. Ob Nixilis isn't good enough, I think. Right? Because it doesn't really do much. Invoke Despair. Okay. I think the last play is just to draw some cards, right? This doesn't do it. We don't have targets for this, so let's go. See what exactly is in the rest of the deck. With deck tracker I would know. And then the removal. So we can get rid of this. And that was a good game, my friend. That was really good game. Oh man, I should have won this game on so many levels. It's unbelievable. I'm disappointed in myself after this game. So what exactly went wrong here? First, the biggest mistake, wrong identifying the late game potential. Without Shigeki, this deck can be outvalued. You have seen that he was out of the cards, but casting Shigeki into Despair, into Shigeki into Despair is just so much value that even our deck barely kept up with it. Like, we could compete with this, but not forever. So that was the biggest mistake. And the second one, coming from this, we weren't aggressive enough because I thought that we don't need to, and he was so low. And of course the biggest mistake is drawing like so many lands in a row when we needed Planewalkers and Lilianas, and when we had Liliana we just needed 1 or 2 more spells to cast to finish him off. Well, so unlucky and so many mistakes. I hope you enjoyed the game at least. I think it was still worth to watch it, and I hope it wasn't as painful to watch as it was to play. I really enjoyed it, it was a great game, but man, it was just on the border of winning every single turn, and you had this feeling that you are always one little step behind, that you cannot keep up with this. So, yeah, that was it. I really thank you for anyone that watched until now, and tell me in the comments if you are still here. Do you enjoy like those long games that I sometimes lose, and you know, I give the commentary and I'm thinking, and maybe the game is over, but I try to make it work and make a good comeback story, or you just prefer that we concede instantly and, you know, go the next game? Because I always a bit hesitant. I myself like this kind of games and I want to see them played out until the end, and I thought that maybe like conceding and in the late game is just a bit disappointing if you had hope that we might get close. And clearly in this game I think you exactly see how we could win on so many occasions with the correct draw, but we just sadly didn't draw the card. So yeah, tell me in the comments, and thank you really for watching.